Hey guys, Break here, and today I'm going to be talking about flipping BoE gear, particularly raid BoE gear, because the new raid has just come out. This whole process of buying gear for relatively cheap and trying to sell it for quite a lot more is super profitable. In fact, it's probably the most profitable thing to do in the game right now. And a lot of you have been asking, how do I do it? How is the best way to do it? And there is no best way, but I'm going to show you my kind of techniques and how you can perhaps make some really nice gold in the next few days and weeks. So first of all, how do you search for this raid gear? It's pretty simple. If you have TSM, I have made a favorite search, which is just this. So if you type /110/110/i920/armor/epic into the search, then it will come up, and that's pretty much what you want to do. You can put it to 930, which would be the start of the current pieces for Antorus, but we are going to have Raid Finder next week, and there are still some nice 920 pieces that people buy, so I like to search for 920 rather than 930. If you do not have TSM, then it's a bit more annoying. You're just going to have to search for armor and then sort it by item level, and then you'll get the high item level pieces, but this is a great way to do it with TSM. Next up, and what is important, you must realize that if it says 5 there, that means there's 5 of these, all different item level. And then you go, and then you can go under, and then you can see. And you see there's 2 of this, that means there's 2 of these. So you kind of have to take into account that when searching on TSM. Always double click to expand the item levels, because you don't know what you're going to find really. So yeah, on high pop servers there'll be a lot of these. On lower pop obviously there'll be less, but it's all good stuff to know. And then you want to go through and you want to look for some good deals. Now, it's almost impossible to give you a good idea of pricing. Number 1, US and EU could be very different. Number 2, the realms are all going to be very different. And number 3, the time, the context is going to be very different. If you're doing it right now, then items are going to be worth a lot more than if you do this in a week or two, when the items will be worth less, but they'll still be worth a decent amount. They're just obviously worth more the first few days after the raid releases. But a great technique for you guys to use before we look at Undermine Journal and all that complex stuff, and this will give you a pretty good idea of the pricing on your server. Just have a look yourself. I mean, if we're scrolling down here, look, there's a lot of 920s up for, you know, around 70, 80, 90k. 925s are up for around 100. And the 930s are all around the 150k mark or above, but 150 is generally the minimum, as you can see all around the place, apart from here. Here there is one random 930 up for 50k. So what do? You buy it out. Easy. There you go. I've just made a load of gold. Now, these are not actually going to be worth that much gold. They're not going to be worth the 450 that the other ones were priced at, because look, you see here, we'll expand it, there are a load for, or there's 2 for 450 and 490, but then there's a 945 for 370. I mean, we could almost flip the 945, the 370 is quite a lot. It would be pretty risky. I would just say those 930s are overpriced, but I reckon we can put the 930 up for around 150 to 200k, because as you scroll through, the kind of 930 minimum on your server is around the 150k mark, you know. So I could easily flip this for 150k, it will sell quick, and I've made triple my gold. Again, I could probably sell for a bit more, for like 200, but I don't know, it's up to you really. If you're trying to sell in trade chat as well, it'll go quicker, but if you just want to put it up on the auction house and get a quick sale, then that's good as well. And it's just a really easy way to work out these base marks, you know. 930 generally on my server seems to be around 150k. The 935s, when you go up a 5 item level, you're going to expect at least a 50k increase, I would say, at the moment. So we'll say, like, you know, this 935 is only 175. That's only a 25k increase, but, you know, a lot of them are a lot more. So, you know, you're going to see around a 50k increase per 5 item levels. So if the 930s are around 150, the 935s are around 200, the 9 940s around 250, the 945s around 300, if you guys get the picture. However, where we are right now, when you get to the really high item levels, you can start charging a bit more. So like the difference between a 930 and a 945 should be about 150k as we worked out. But if there weren't any other 945s on the auction house, you could potentially charge more, I would say. You know, like 250k more instead of 150k more, if you guys get the picture. And if you're getting something crazy like a 960, you can basically charge what you want. This is when you want to start looking at Undermine Journal and whatever that we'll go into later. And I mean, yeah guys, I'm not saying by any means that 50k per 5 item level is good or the kind of benchmark you want to go for. However, it is certainly somewhere to start, and again, just check your server, just see what's happening. But that's the kind of general price range. So what you do if you have a really high item level piece, or there just isn't really a good benchmark for you to use on your server, how else can you see prices? Well, a great place to look is the Undermine Journal. For example, let's take these 955 hulking demolisher leg plates. 955 is so rare at the moment that it's almost impossible to know what to price it at for your server. However, we can look on the Undermine Journal for this. So what you want to do is you just want to type in the Undermine Journal, your item. You know, choose your realm first, or it doesn't really matter. Type in the item, and then you can select the level. So I selected the 955, and here you go. If you scroll down, it will show you where the other items are across the region for that exact item level. And look, there's only one. There's one on Silver Moon that's been put at 1.2 mil. So that already gives you a pretty good idea. It's worth a lot of gold. Now if you scroll down even further, this is a great little chart, because with the grayed out dots, it will show you where it was originally put, like where the price was before it was bought out. And then obviously that's your server, and that's the main blue dot is the other server. So you see these 4 dots here, these are all places where the item was put on the auction house and either cancelled or much more likely sniped or bought straight away. You know, the raid only came out yesterday, so these would have just been bought up, all of these 4 most likely. So as you can see, this one here was bought for 350, 400, 350, even an 800k was bought up on Blackmore. This also tells you the population of the server, which is useful. The higher pop your server is, the more likely it is you'll be able to sell for a nicer price. So look here, Sylvanas, pretty high pop, and it's placed in a pretty good pricing, to be honest. Like, you know, it's above these, which were probably bought pretty quickly. You know, it's not quite at the 800k, which perhaps it could be. You know, I'd have perhaps put it for a bit more than 550, maybe 700 or 650. Seen if it's sold, and then if it didn't, you can lower the price. But 550 is a good price. I think this person's done their research, and you know, they're going to make a lot of gold. So yeah, I hope you guys kind of understand the whole way that we do this. Another thing to think about is, of course, the timing. We're on very kind of short time in terms of the value of these items is going to be dropping all the time because it's getting easier and easier to get them. Obviously, it's only been out a day in the EU, so there aren't many. So potentially that's another reason people price them low. They just want them to sell quick before they get more and more, and there's more competition and it's harder to sell. I think it was a bit premature of them to do that because, let's be honest, you only really do the raid once. Most people only do it once. So for this whole week, we're not going to be seeing many more. I mean, some more people might raid today and at the weekend, but I mean, most people, when the raid releases, just get excited and go raid that day. So at least the heroic raiders do. So a few more will pop up over the weekend, but the prices should stay pretty regular for this week. Sorry, and also next week as well, they should see pretty decent prices, but you know, obviously they're going to be dropping all the time. But don't worry too much. Like I say, this is profitable for months after the raid releases, and they still sell for crazy amounts of gold. Obviously with Mythic releasing, next week and the whole mythic race. A lot of people are trying to prepare for that, so that's why this week is the best for selling these items, because the mythic raiders want to just fill in the slots they don't have, or potentially gear up a new character real quick that they've decided they're going to raid on. I don't know. That's always a possibility, but that's why I'm doing this video now, so you guys can make the most of it the next couple of weeks. So what about posting with TSM? Whilst the base items IDs can be got already, I don't suggest using these because it's only for the base items, and it's highly likely, well, it's not highly likely, but it's quite common for you not to have the base item. You'll usually have a Titan Forged or something. I do have the base item here, so potentially it would work for this. But I would keep an eye on Muffins' GitHub, like Muffins' paste bin. I'll put it down in the description below. He usually updates these with all the new sort of Titan Forged, Warforged, all the new item levels and everything, stat weights. He updates that, because if you think about it, guys, there's 12 BoEs. Then there's Raid Finder, Normal, Heroic and Mythic, so that's 48 BoEs. But then there's all the different item levels it could possibly be, so it's 48 times, you know, like 10 or something. I have no idea. Anyway, there's hundreds, if not almost 1,000 possible items. There's a lot of new items, even though there's only 12 base items. So it's not going to be easy for you to get all those item IDs into your paste bin, but you want to wait around until that's been updated, and then you can just import the groups, put them into your just put them into whatever group you have. I'll put them in my 110 raid group and go from there. However, I don't really suggest using TSM posting for raid BoEs at the moment anyway. Like I said, you kind of want to work out the prices yourself and go from there. You know, I'll say I'm using Auctionator here. I don't want to use the 450, 490 because these are really high item level. Oh, these are the overly high item levels. If you remember earlier, there was a 945 piece for like pretty much the same price. So as we worked out earlier, it's between 150 and 200k. It's the price for 930s on my server. I put it up for say 179. 999. That's what, so what, 180k. We'll see if that sells. We'll leave it for a bit. For those of you wondering, what should I stay away from? What should I always buy? There's no real rule. In general, the like shoulder, like the main pieces, generally go for more because they give more stats, basically. But there are also a lot of reasons why wrists and all that can also sell for a lot. I've had people on my stream telling me they were selling some wrists that they bought for like 100k, sold them for 500k, and that happens a lot. And if you think about it, everyone wants the new tier sets for these, but you know, there's no tier set for wrists. So at the same time, whilst it doesn't give so many stats, it's not going to be replaced as quickly potentially. So there's arguments for each piece of gear. It doesn't really matter what you buy, to be honest, especially this week. You just want to concentrate on what looks cheap on your server and yeah, go from there. One thing I'm also going to talk about is trade chat. Now this is crucial for BoE buying and selling. There are some awesome deals to be made in trade chat because some people just go into their raid, they have no idea about the auction house pricing. They will see a BoE that just drops for them and they'll try and sell it quickly for 100k. So as you can see, I whispered this guy, he said offer. It's just for some cloth braces, I'm not going to offer much. But again, you can search on the auction house for these, and look, there's a lot of these about, much more common. And, you know, what should we see? There's a 30k one here. Is anyone on Grom? Go buy that out. Goes up to 70k for these kind of low pops. And then, again, goes up and up and up, really. But the price is around the 200k mark, as you guys can see. Especially, you know, what's the price on the higher pop servers? 300k, 200k. Okay, the price is lower on Kazakh because there's more than one of them. Everything's cheap on Kazakh. But you guys get the picture. It's between 100 and 200k, really. It seems to be the price. So I can message this guy and say 50k. And he probably won't sell it, but if he does, then you know, we can go from there and hopefully make a nice bit of profit. Even more important than buying on Trade Chat is selling on Trade Chat, particularly if you get a high item level piece. Not that many people really search on the auction house, but if you shove it in their face, you've got this 960k, then you know, if you're selling it on Trade Chat, you're going to have a lot more people buy it and a lot more offers. Now, you can always tell people the price and they'll offer you something lower. You try and meet them in the middle. You guys know how bartering works, how Trade Chat really works in general. Look, this guy has already replied, 75k, he said. 60k max. Sorry, mate. There you go, something like that. I'm not bothered about these. I don't think they're going to sell for that much, but I'd probably be able to make a bit of a profit from them. So 65k and we got a deal. So I'm going to say, nah, sorry, because I'm not so. Nah, sorry, good luck. And he might come back to me again and say, fine, 60k. Or he might start swearing at me. Or he might just say, thank you, there you go. So, again, I'm not too bothered about that one. I could probably have made some profit from 65k, but like I say, there's a lot on the high pops for like 100k already. The price is dropping all the time, so whilst I could have made a profit, I'm not quite going to bother. But I hope you guys can see the value of Trade Chat and how it can help net you a nice bit of profit. If I just quickly show you guys on some of my other servers that I've been flipping on. So yesterday I bought these heroic pieces with a socket for 150k, 945, and another 945 for 150. So two 945s I bought for 150k, which is really, really good. Like I say, if a 930 is around 150k usually, a 945 could easily be 300 to 400k. We'll have a look and see. So another person has now put one up for 360. It's fine, we'll just undercut them. There we go. And mine do have the socket, so could be worth a bit more, but whatever, we'll just undercut. And then these bad boys, so there's another couple of 930 ones for 75k, which is quite cheap. But like I say, if we add say 150 to that, 200 to that, I'm going to try sell these for 300k because I can, and if they don't sell, it doesn't matter, I'll just relist them. This isn't a very high pop server, so there won't be much competition. I'll try to sell them for 300k, make double my gold back, and there you go. Probably could have sold them for more, but like I say, it's good to get these sold quick because the prices probably won't stay quite as high after next week. But there you go, guys. I hope you found this useful. Again, please, there is no direct pricing guide. It's a very rough guide. This week it's anything goes, and if you really want to sell things, you just want to spam in Trade Chat until you get someone who's offered you a deal you can accept, and then you'll sell it. Either that or someone buys it on the auction house, but that's how you're going to be making gold this week if you have some capital. Obviously, if you only have 50k or less, don't bother trying to do this. Don't spend all your gold on one flip, it's too risky. But for those of you who do have some gold, this is going to be your best gold making method. So look across your server, look in Trade Chat, try to get some deals going, and that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, see ya.